It will be the lore you know.
People lose, this is actually a good this is good because in the digital world there's you can't lose digital space. They say in the movie a Digimon never dies, he just becomes a new Digimon. So in a way, that lost recording that we just recorded, it's not gone forever and we'll never get it back. It's reborn as this recording.
Okay.
As it could be a better Digimon is how it works.
Is it?
I find that really interesting because, like, in the ephemeral space of reality where you talk about, like, you know, the spirits and such, that makes sense. With a computer, it's like, no, that file could just be corrupted.
No, it's almost more so. Like,
are we talking hard disk space? Or are we talking?
It almost seems. No, we're talking about data frame. We're talking about like the essence of the creatures.
Okay.
And how like it's not like a human soul can be lost, but a Digimon soul that's there forever.
Yeah,
in the digital world.
And if they
like this, we're digitizing ourselves right now. We're becoming Digimans and woman.
So, is the afterlife for Digimon like the Wayback Machine?
Do you want me to
Internet
actually
archives?
tell you about it? Because the Digimon. I'll say this. I'll preface this. So the Digimon. Listen.
All right, hold on. Before we get too far into it, welcome to the lore you know. A podcast.
I have to talk about the Digimon.
A podcast where we sometimes get corrupted files while talking about digital monsters, and we dive into the fantastical and often convoluted lore of the media that we grew up with and love. And here to bring you the mostly correct facts about made-up things this week are me, Fran, again.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm CJ. I'm a digital monster, a Digiman.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's a little behind the scenes. We recorded half of this episode and I lost it like a fucking idiot. So we're doing it again.
We didn't get that far. It was really
we didn't get
groundwork
that far. Listen,
here.
We're gonna bring you all of the information you've come to know and love from us.
Okay, we're talking about Digimon.
But the first half of it's gonna be filled with scorn and contempt for what you'll never hear.
Just listen as. That first take, that was really good. So if this one really isn't good, you can just imagine.
Just know that the first one was good.
Or think about this is like the Tenacious D song, Ethan. This is not the greatest podcast in the world. This is just a tribute.
Okay.
I didn't remember the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No,
anyway.
This is going to be the Digivolved version of the intro.
So what I've learned about before we get into the afterlife of Digimon. Okay, here's what I've learned about Digimon. Okay.
Yeah.
Digimon was
digital
monsters from Tamagotchis in the late 90s. Right. And so Tamagotchis were those little keychains where you could like raise a little animal like a cat or a dog or like a mermaid or some
or
nonsense.
Kill them.
Well, you feed and play with them, and if you neglect them for too long, they die. Right?
Is it killing them if it's just
it's
like
neglect?
It's neglect, but like if you weren't there, they would have died anyway. So like
it's like it's kind of like that same like debate about pandas if they really like should we be saving them because they're just lazy.
Pandas would have been fine if we would have just left them alone.
They don't even want to procreate.
Well,
they do in nature.
I hadn't thought of that. So first of all, Tamagotchis are not like that because you birth them, you turn them on when you buy them. But how good?
When talking about children's toys.
It's fine. How good of a marketing thing would it have been if the Tamagotchis were on the shelves and they're just like, children, these are dying on the shelves. You need to bring this.
Like it's like a pet rescue, and they're like, if we don't get kids to take these Tamagotchis,
will
we
die.
can't afford to.
Well, that's
we
what
can't
Goodwill
afford
is,
to
right?
keep them all on. We're gonna have to put them down. And then they have like live Tamagotchi executions.
Well-
They're like, this is because of you.
My
Like, they have no home.
Well, my understanding is that with the Tamagotchis, only little girls liked playing with them, and they're like, we got to tap into this boy market.
All right. We have to start. Fran, you know how to write papers. You know how to write research papers.
Okay.
We have to start with a thesis statement. We
I'm
can't
sorry,
get ahead of
I'm sorry.
ourselves here.
I just wanted to get into before you start talking about their death. About
Digimon is a franchise that, according to the internet, has made over $6 million, according to my research. So I was researching Digimon because I was curious, how much is Digimon worth, compared to like
Is
Pokemon?
it right up there with Pokemon?
And the internet said it's made more than $6 million, which I think is correct, but it also seems a little low.
I mean, it's not wrong.
For a franchise that has made everything from consumer electronics to movies to video games to trading card games. So yes, I think it has made over $6 million.
Yeah, it's like an inequality. It's just greater than or equal to.
Exactly. So right. In the same way, this podcast has made over $10. Is it $1 billion? Maybe, but it's over 10.
Really? Where's
Well,
my
I mean,
the
Where's my
Cooking with Spices
$3.33?
franchise has
Oh,
made
okay.
over
It's not.
Okay,
$10.
not
It's
this
not.
specific
It's right.
podcast.
It's
Okay,
not.
I'm
It's
sorry.
not about. Right. It's not about the money you actually make. It's about the brand you create.
Oh,
We're
I'm
creating a brand here, obviously. But so there's a lot to talk about with Digimon. So what I decided is to tie it into my own history. All right. To look deep within myself and figure out, what do I want to know about Digimon as a person. And I decided that I wanted to figure out what the fuck is going on in the movie Digimon the movie.
Okay.
Which is a movie that came out when I was a kid that me and my friend Steven loved to watch. But we had no fucking idea what was going on in it because it's a very confusing movie. Why is it a confusing movie? Because it's actually many movies sort of stitched together from existing Digimon content and then redubbed and then sent to the West so that we could like consume Digimon content.
All
Because
three
they were
movies
like, they're
at
not
once.
consuming enough content.
I love, like, it's bad. It's just like across the board bad. But I love the 90s like companies that just had absolutely zero respect for their audience, like none whatsoever.
They're like, these are kids. They don't care. Their parents' money is green, just like everywhere else.
Also, didn't they like turn some of the Sailor Scouts from lesbians into like cousins or something?
Yes,
And that's why
yes,
they were
friend.
like so
exactly
friendly?
such. Right, because the Japanese
they're cousins.
have
They're cousins.
The Japanese have they were very close cousins. They were flirting a lot for cousins. But the Japanese have, as we know, a far more open and tolerant culture than we do here in the West. So when they brought their things over here, they need to censor it so that we don't get scared.
Or seizures.
Or seizures. That was it. Yeah.
That was Porygon.
So the thing I want to do is I want to explain to anyone else who was like me what was going on in the Digimon movie. And so the movie Digimon : the movie. So let's talk about what a Digimon is, because hey, if you're new here, maybe you don't even know what a Digimon is. Maybe you were like searching for information about Digimon, you came across this podcast titled Digimon, and you're like, they have to know everything about Digimon. And you're a little bit right.
We know things. We know it's made over $6 million.
It's made over $6 million. But it's the 80s and 90s, and consumer electronics are all the rage, and Japan is leading the charge. They're very good at making electronics, and it turns out
That was their big
although
financial boom. For
right,
sure.
although children do not have money, they do still desire things, and their parents have money.
Oh.
So they have started making consumer electronics specifically for children. And in specific to that specifically, they made Tamagotchis.
Father, I desire this little electronic animal. What does it do, my child? It dies.
Oh,
It
a good
poops.
lesson for you, my boy.
Apparently.
I wish to experience death, Father.
That's my boy. Have 3. It's the 90s. We have plenty of money. We could build a house.
We have plenty
We
of
could
money.
build a house of Tamagotchis and then afford to buy it.
The planet will never die. We have plenty of money. It's time to make little electronic animals that will, be dead in a week from your negligence.
Man, we can
This
build
is, of
so many
course-
houses that look exactly the same. It's going to be great.
Yes, they love it. Your children will never be able to afford these. This is, of course, before the Tamagotchi were hunted to near extinction as they are today, being a protected species. But back then, they would roam the Japanese countrysides, and then those Japanese guys would just catch them in little nets and put them into.
You can
I don't know,
actually buy
little Game Boys.
Tamagotchis at Target these days. They
You
re-released
still
them.
buy Tamagotchis?
You,
That's
they,
awesome.
Hell
they
yeah.
re-released them. You couldn't buy them for a while, but because
I gotcha.
Y2K fashion trends and shit are coming back.
Were people afraid that? Hold on, is that was a legitimate fear of some people that Y2K would kill their Tamagotchi? There has to have been some, right?
I'm sure there was some Y2K panic about that. Yeah,
Could you imagine?
that's why
how
you
scared
hoarded
you'd be as
Beanie
a little kid?
Babies because Beanie
You
Babies
just
can't
keep
get wiped out by the Y2K.
Just imagine you were a little kid, and you were like, you love this little fucking piece of code that you've raised since an egg. And
For the last 3 days.
every day on the for like 3 days, and then every day on the news they're like, Y2K is coming and it's gonna wipe out all electronics as we know it, and you're just like, no, Patamon, my sweet boy, I'll find a way to save you.
Mm-hmm. And then it all blows over and you're like, I'm sure in a year's time I won't see anything bad happen on the news that will make me question my childhood.
I'm so
leave you
glad
forever
that
traumatized.
I'm so glad that the year 2000 is over and Y2K didn't happen and nothing bad could possibly happen now in this year of 2001.
Never.
It's all downhill
fixed.
from here.
It's all fixed.
Hey, is the expression all downhill from here like it's good from now or it's bad from now? Because like if you're riding a bike, being downhill would be good. You don't have to pedal as hard.
I had always heard
I think it's
downhill
both.
from here is bad from now.
I'm
So
pretty
is
sure
it
it's
all
both.
uphill from here good? Because that doesn't sound good either.
I've never heard uphill from here.
Well, it's the opposite. For every downhill, there's
Yeah, no, it's a weird phrase. But
not a good
speaking of
idiom.
weird things, we need to get back to Tamagotchis because strangely,
How did we get from Tamagotchis to Digimon, right? Because boys don't like taking care of animals.
only little girls would possibly want to take care of something. Little boys only live for destruction.
Yeah, because girls have it pre-programmed into the brains to be caretakers, obviously.
Exactly. And we as
That's their
society
job.
we as society have to encourage them to be caretakers as well so that they will be good ones. So all the little
Tell that
girls
to
are
Angel the
all
cat
the
that
little
my
girls
sister
are
had
asking
killed.
their papas, their papas who work in the newly burgeoning middle class. Can I have some Tamagotchis? It's like, of course. And then a little boy comes. It's like, I want a Tamagotchi too. He's like, well, no son of mine's gay, so no. But this was the 90s. Homophobia was all the rage.
Yeah.
But so those Japanese people, clever as they are, say we need some way so that these little boys can purchase things from us with their American money. And so they went into their, I don't know, I guess laboratory where they like experiment. They just like show kids different things, I guess. And then they like monitor their brain and see what makes their little dopamine in their brain spike up. And then after intensive research, they came up with the concept of Digimon. It's exactly the same as Tamagotchis. You're still taking care of a digital creature that lives inside of your pocket. But these ones can kill each other.
Not to be
in battle.
confused with pocket monsters.
Right.
Not.
You can put them in your
different.
pocket, but they're not pocket monsters. They are digital monsters.
They're digital
Very important, friend.
monsters.
Thank you.
They can digitally fight and digitally shit. And
Right.
God, do boys from the 90s love gross, like, oh, it poops just like I do, just like me.
Also,
Do you guys
fake
like
barf a thing
getting slimed? Is
also?
getting slimed a good thing? I know
No,
that
it's-
everyone was getting slimed back in the day, but I was like, I would see people get slimed, and I'm like, I don't want to be
Can you
slimed.
imagine having to wash that off your hair?
I
You
thought
can
it
eat
was
it. It's
disgusting.
edible.
Ugh.
Oh, that all doesn't
Don't-
sound
don't-
great.
Fun fact about Nickelodeon slime is it is made out of 100% edible materials. You can eat the slime.
Weirdly,
want
that makes
to.
it more gross. Like,
want
I'm just
too.
I'm just saying that's a fun fact about
God.
Nickelodeon slime.
I wonder what happened to the slime industry after Nickelodeon closed.
It's going very well right now. Have you not seen YouTube?
But that's
we
lot
should
of,
be
like,
doing slime content right
slime.
now.
That's like homemade
Yeah.
slime. Not buckets of slime being dumped on people, because Nickelodeon Studios closed and they don't have Double Dare and Guts and stuff anymore.
You're thinking that
I'm just thinking about the supply chain, Right.
Well, you're thinking of the mass-produced slime that we grew up with.
Yeah.
We all grew up and realized oh, this is of low quality. This is low quality slime. And now that we're older, we all want millennials
boutique.
being entitled, right? They want their
slime.
specialty slimes and small batch slimes.
Artisan farm to table slimes.
You gotta remember, Fran, that even though there's no longer one big Nickelodeon buying the slime, there are now 10 million YouTube channels for children who are buying smaller amounts of slime.
I hate it. We will never be able to compete in this industry. Anyway, so we have our new product. It's called Digital Monsters. It is a tiny little, Game Boy kind of looking thing.
So
on
much
a keychain.
smaller though. Yeah, it's like a pop socket
It's very small.
sized, I'd say.
It's just got a few buttons and a very simple, sort of black and white screen display, like the ones that alarm clocks were made out of.
Like the greenish color.
Right.
One.
And it's a hit. Kids love it because
you
can feed your Digimon, you can train your Digimon, and you can connect the devices together. They have a sliding piece on the end. And you can connect it to another Digimon, and you can fight other Digimon, which is very cool.
Upset that we couldn't fight Tamagotchis as the girl market.
I mean,
it's really
what you would do with Tamagotchis is you would just take them and then push them together, and then the first one to be destroyed was the weaker one, and that's how you breeded them. You'd be like, "This is a strong Tamagotchi."
No,
yeah, because you would only the strongest Tamagotchi would not have their shells crack.
You could think of all Tamagotchis are fighting. It's just a battle of attrition. Which one will start?
Which ones can live They can live forever, but that's on you.
So, if I remember correctly from the lost archive of this first part of this episode, with the Digimon fighting nonsense, the Digimon have different stages it can get to only if it doesn't get sick from its
good
poop.
Care of it. Right. So
okay.
As Ethan pointed out, I guess 90s kids really love shit and piss and
boys
fucking all that
boys
stuff.
did.
For boys. So of course an integral part of taking care of your Digimon was to clean up its shit every 2 hours, which is how often creatures poop. And if you didn't clean it up before it pooped 8 times, which is 16 hours, it becomes sick and it becomes worse at fighting and can turn into just a shit monster. One of them that they could turn to is a shit monster. You didn't clean up your poop? It's a poop monster now. That's how Digimon work.
Okay.
It's fun for everyone.
Shit and piss. It's for boys.
Now
that was on the package.
I unfortunately did just unlock a childhood memory of a toy that was marketed to girls. There definitely was a baby doll.
Don't talk about the shitting doll. Don't talk about the doll that shits and pisses.
There's one that peed.
I don't like
think it pooped. I think it just peed.
It peed
because they wanted to train us to know how to change diapers.
Yeah.
Joke's on them. I've still never have changed a diaper, whether it's for a real baby or a fake one. So
you show
I have to
Fran.
change mine, but yeah, it's fine. So you're right, Fran. The Digimon, you have to take care of them, and then they will digivolve to newer stages. So when you first get your Digimon, it is an egg, a Digi-egg, if you will.
Of course.
And then you hatch your Digi-egg into a Digimon.
Digi-baby?
A Digimon.
Oh, it's not a Digi-baby. It's just a baby.
It's just a baby. It's at the baby stage. They're called stages.
Okay.
So your Digimon is at the baby stage. And then you train it up until it's eventually a child, as how it works most of the time. And then you train it up until it is an adult, which also tracks. And then as we know, the stage after adult is perfect stage. So eventually,
when do we get to get to perfect stage?
We have to make 100 podcasts, and they all have to be good. So and of course these toys sell like hotcakes. The kids love them because of their innovative feature where you can fight each other. So
they sell so much they made over $6 million.
They made over $6 million in $90.
Yeah, that's a lot of dollars.
Impressive. I think the innovation of being able to like battle with another person is it cannot
That's actually
be
pretty cool.
understated.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty.
Because what does it do? Well, it makes it so if you have a friend who's got a Digimon, then they're gonna pressure you into get a Digimon so that you fight them. Or if you have your own and you want to fight it with someone else and your friends don't, you just get another one and you have them fight each other.
Makes me want us to get like 20 Digimon, like battly ones, and then...
I can't.
No, like,
every 2 hours it's gonna shit, Fran,
like,
and you have to clean it up.
Spread them out on a table, right? And then we like do bracket style elimination.
Well, you gotta train them first, otherwise they're just babies.
Yeah, otherwise they're just babies. But
then
so
this is a good like series of videos of us training montaging. We each get like 5.
I can't.
Absolutely not.
I'm not gonna do it.
So the problem with that, and the problem with all of this, is that yes, the idea of having little digital monsters fight each other is cool.
Yeah.
But somebody a year before just did that and did a much better job of it.
Right. So although the Digimon, the digital monsters, was able to tap into that elusive young boy market that's so hard to buy for, at the same time, there was another animal fighting ring simulator that was coming onto the scene, and that is called Pokemon. That's right. Digimon was dominating the consumer electronic market with its small little toys for kids, but a little company called Nintendo had figured out a way to put whole ass video games into a tiny pocket-sized device and was able to play RPG style games. They were playing whole ass games where you could also fight your friends. And so Pokemon was a huge hit almost immediately, as we all know. That much is history. And not only did the game do really well, but they were able to market it out for anime and merchandising, which is where the big dollars are, baby. You think you're going to make money selling little toys? No. You got to put that shit on everything. And so
backpacks,
the people who own Digimon are like, we have an IP, but it's not making enough money. We're gonna have to branch out into new media. And so the year's 1999, I think it's 2.5 years after Pokemon has come out, and they're like, we're gonna make a Digimon movie, and it's going to be a interpretation, I guess, of like what a Digimon battle is. Like, conceptually, what are you doing when you have your little monsters battle?
But this isn't Digimon the movie. This is just
this is just a prelude to the Digimon movie. This is the first incarnation of Digimon on the big screen.
Okay.
And it was a pretty straightforward plot, although a little weird if you didn't know anything about Digimon, but that was probably on purpose to try and like pique your interest and get you to buy a Digimon. But our young protagonists, Tai and Kari, are brother and sister, and they discover a mysterious egg has appeared out of their computer. That's weird.
How did that happen?
It's so the computer screen is there. It's like the big boxy one,
Yeah.
and then like the egg just kind of like
Worms
out of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it like comes out and becomes like a physical egg. And this
That's
is,
alarming.
as you may have guessed, a digi egg. And so their digi egg hatches into a little baby, as is the first stage in the digital monsters, and then it grows up very quickly.
It does,
because it
does shit in this movie.
Yeah.
Like
it eats and shits. They have a cat in the movie. They just feed it cat food.
What did they feed it?
It loves cat food.
Okay.
It's just cat
Good
food.
to know.
It loves to eat cat food and then shit like a cat. So in that ways, it's very similar to a regular
So did it go
pet.
into a litter box?
Nope, it just shits on the ground. And then they like pick it up. They're like, you're my best friend. And then like, shitting sound effect. And then they like pick it up and they're like, oh no, it's
poop
shit
at
everywhere.
least?
Nope, it's just shit,
poop?
Fran.
Okay.
It's poop everywhere.
when
it's
so cool.
When it's in the baby phase, all it does is poop.
I mean, that is what babies do. So I guess that is accurate.
I guess it's just gross. I don't like it. Fran. So the baby phase when a Digimon hatches it's just like a black fuzzy ball, which is like what it is in the actual like hardware, the digital monsters. And then once it digivolves into its next form, whenever it digivolves in the movie, all the like electronics go haywire. It's like using up all the data around it, I guess, to like absorb into it to grow up.
Whole megabytes of data.
First off, it's the 90s. It's using kilobytes at most. But it will evolve into a child phase, which is also usually sort of like a ball sort of size. So I guess like a soccer ball size Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll have more distinct features. It'll have like a color. And so in this case, in the movie, the Digimon, it's called Digimon Adventure, was the original movie title. And the creature goes from being a little black fuzzy ball to being a little pink ball with long ears. And it's called Koromon, and it's very cute. And it is also gross because it shits everywhere, and it shows its affection by clinging on to their owner's face like a face hugger from Alien, and just
God.
giving them smooches.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
he's a baby. He doesn't know personal
that,
boundaries.
No. Don't like it.
But he's sweet. He's just excitable. But they keep raising their little lad, and eventually it digivolves again into Agumon. And this
Which is
Agumon,
the little dinosaur, right?
Yeah, but this dinosaur is very big. So they didn't really, I don't think at this point they really figured out like the
Scale?
ratio, like
Right.
the human to Digimon size. Because again, this is the first like media where you actually are like a child interacting with your Digimon.
How big was it?
So this one was like a bus, I guess.
Oh.
Like standing up on end.
That is large. That's just a large.
It like busts out of the
boy.
size of their apartment.
Yeah, this
And
is
then
like
it's
a
just, like, walking
T-Rex
through the
size
streets.
thing.
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Which makes sense. It is a dinosaur, but like,
Right.
I
it's
just know
like-
the cute small one from the Saturday morning cartoons.
But then in the sky, while Agumon, he's Agumon now. Well, in the sky, while Agumon's like running around, another huge digi egg just appears out of the sky. This one doesn't come out of a computer, but it comes out of the digital realm, which is, I guess, kind of everywhere because it exists where data is, and it's Japan. And
So it came out of the
data
cloud. Got it.
It came out. All right. Yes, Fran. It did come out of the cloud in this case. It came out of a cloud.
Yes.
And then it's a big parrot monster. And of course, Agumon sees this parrot monster. It's called Parrotmon.
Is it a
And the
sexy
two start
parrot?
fighting. No, it's just a big
Just
parrot.
a normal parrot. Okay.
Just a regular parrot.
It didn't evolve
And the
into
two-
its sexy form yet. Got it.
Or, well, this one is like... this one is an adult level Digimon.
Okay.
Whereas Agumon's still a child level. But the two of them fight for a while, and they lose because Parrotmon's a bigger adult than Agumon, who's a child.
Adult
But
will
then-
always win over children. That is an
It's
important
true.
lesson for them to learn.
But then the love that Tai and Kari had in raising Agumon over the last like day, I guess, because I don't know, it's been like a day.
Right.
Yeah.
It infuses Agumon with greater strength, and he digivolves again. And they go, Agumon? And he's like, no. Oh, actually, they call him Koromon still, because they never figured out that he was Agumon when he digivolved.
Right.
But they're like, Koromon, you're so big. He's like, I'm Greymon now. And they're like, okay, cool.
All right. Cool. All right, great.
So when you digivolve, you just become a new thing. You still have all your thoughts and memories, but you just have a new identity, and everyone's on board with that. So
Okay.
there's no
Yeah.
confusion.
I'm not Fireheart
What an
anymore. I'm
accepting
Firestar.
society. You're so right.
Exactly. You just grow up and you get a new name, and you just are that now. So
Just
that's fine.
But in this case, instead of the last part of your name, it's the first part of your name that changes each time. Because they all end in Mon.
Yeah, they do all end in Mon.
Yeah.
Every Digimon name, that is true. That's a good point. All the Digimon's name end in Mon. That's without exception.
Mm-hmm.
Much to the very stupid naming conventions we'll get to later. You'll see some instances where that's dumb, but
I can never imagine that happening.
some instances. So Greymon beats Parrotmon in battle, and they're like it's like Godzilla and Mothra fighting in the streets of Japan. Like they're like
Oh, it
blowing
would
up
be, 'cause
buildings
it
and
is
shit with all this.
Wait.
It's like
Is he
kaiju.
still a dinosaur?
Yes,
when
but
he
he's
turns
much
into
bigger
Greymon?
now. He is like Godzilla. He's like a big orange Godzilla.
Okay, so it is straight up Godzilla versus a bird.
It is,
happening.
yeah.
Okay.
And he uses his Nova Breath to win. Whenever a Digimon uses their move, they say the name of their move, which is very good. I like that. So he goes, Nova Breath! And then just like shoots white fire out of his mouth. And
right,
it's awesome.
And he somehow says Nova Breath while his mouth is completely open, shooting fire out of it.
Yeah, so the dubbing is that's not even the most like egregious dubbing in this. So like,
is that something Americans do on their dubs, or is that something that came from the Japanese?
No, the Japanese do that.
Okay.
Yeah, they love doing that. They love having names for their moves. I love having names for your moves. I do it all the time.
What move do you use when you like get your coffee in the morning?
Well, the whole point of the coffee is to like power me up. So I don't actually have a move yet.
Okay.
But then when I do, you've heard me like when I'm playing video games, and then sometimes I'm losing, and I'm like, I can't lose. Gamer rage! I just shout gamer rage into the computer, and then I start, and then I keep losing, but then I punch holes in my wall, and then that's like my superpower.
Got it. I haven't gone for a few weeks, so that
like,
did leave my memory. So thank you.
Wall punch, and I just punch the wall. Fist hurt. I announced that as well.
I guess key smash also, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The keyboard, yeah.
Right, exactly. Replace monitor.
Cry to myself, but pretend that I'm not.
Right. This was the original movie. That was like the whole thing. The weird thing about this fight that happens in the middle of downtown Japan, it was the night, but like only a bunch of kids saw it. And like all these buildings got blown up and shit. And then I guess retroactively, because this was just supposed to be like a standalone little video to like introduce Digimon to the world. Retroactively, they're like, oh, it was a terrorist attack. They blew up a bunch of buildings and like left a bunch of huge dinosaur footprints in all of the.
It's 1999, Fran. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Terrorists are fun. Terrorists are so fun in 19.
Yeah, there was only the Oklahoma City bomber in like 94. It's fine.
Exactly. So it doesn't like sometimes that just happens and it's not a big deal and it never ruins an entire country
or entire industry security theater. Right. No.
It doesn't ruin the concept of privacy. It's just a fun little terrorist attack that happens. It happens and then they clean it up and move on. So it's fine. And that was the original Digimon movie. And I know this movie because the beginning of the Digimon movie, the movie is this movie. The Digimon movie takes Digimon the movie takes three different Digimon movies. It takes this movie, it takes another movie that is based on the first Digimon animated series, and then it takes another Digimon movie based on the second Digimon animated series, and it combines all of them and it cuts out like an hour's worth of content and then redubs them to like try to make those three movies make sense, even though they have nothing to do with each other.
How long
and
was
it's a regular movie. It's an hour and a half.
How long were the three movies they spliced together then?
Well, this first movie was just a short film.
Yeah.
So it was like 20 minutes.
Okay. So it's like
it wasn't.
It's like an
they didn't like
cut.
Whatever. Right. They didn't like cut out that much when they moved it over to the Digimon movie.
Okay.
It was just like introducing the concept of Digimon, but they saw what Pokemon was doing and like they're making animes
and movies.
They're not and movies and all sorts of stuff and video games. So what are they gonna do? While they were working on the original movie, decided to greenlight a Digimon series, and the Digimon series takes place with all the kids who saw the original Digimon fighting in the first movie. And so our main protagonist or like leader of the group is Tai, the kid from the original movie.
With the big goggles on his head.
Right, exactly. And his companion is Agumon. But they had to rework things a little bit because they didn't totally think all the details through in this original concept. So Digimon the movie is a Frankenstein of a bunch of other movies. Number one reason why it's very complicated. Number two reason it's redubbed to try and like make the plot make sense with all of these things. So like none of the lines, and that was really confusing. I rewatched it recently, like yesterday, to like get a beat on it. The facial expressions don't match up with anything that they're saying a lot of the times. Like, they'll have a really concerned look on their face. Like, the original had a lot more, like, deeper, more serious themes to it.
Yeah.
But then when they brought it over to the West, they're like, well, we want it to be like a fun kids movie. So they all, like, look really concerned, but they're all, like, cracking jokes and shit the whole time. And it looks really weird. You don't notice that as a kid, but you notice that as an adult with an adult brain.
Again, they just had zero respect for, like, the kids they were giving this to. It's also just, like, the animation between the different movies was not at all the same style.
Yeah.
And so
I would
Right.
really
No,
like.
it was totally different.
I
It's
want
like, you know, the
to-
Pokemon? It's like if they took the old Pokemon and then the way that they animate the new Pokemon where it's all like rounded or whatever, and he lives in Hawaii now, and then they just made those two into one movie and just expect you to be like, yeah, it's just the same guy, whatever.
I really want to talk to the people who were in charge of like westernizing Digimon the movie.
I'm the westernizer. What
But, like,
to know?
How like what was their task that they were given from their boss? Okay, you see these 3 movies, make
Yeah, I
an
love 'em.
entirely new plot.
Easy.
Make it make sense, but not too.
There's
It
a-
doesn't matter if it
there's
makes
a-
too much sense for
There's a
children.
virus now.
Like
yeah.
Get it? Because they're digital.
No,
yeah.
I would not be surprised at all.
Localization team, that's what it's called, not westernizing team.
The westernizing team.
I mean, they did make it Western in a lot of ways. You're right.
No, but it's like they weren't even the first people to do this, Fran. It's like they could look at what the Power Rangers team did, right? Where they're just like,
Oh my God, Power Rangers is so brilliant.
They used the fighting
I was
sequences from Japan.
I was an adult. I was a man before I knew what they were doing. It's literally the exact same action sequence. They just take them, but they're wearing helmets. You can't even see their mouths or
see
who
'em.
they are.
Yep.
So they just redub it. It's so genius.
They redub it, and then they got American actors to play the people in the suits outside
What is
the
it?
suits.
What is it? The Sentai Squad or something?
yeah, they're
Yeah.
Sentai.
Oh my God, it's so good. All right, so we're going to capture that Western market. These little kids love these fighting monsters. We'll give them some fucking fighting monsters to watch. is
On
what the
Saturday
Japanese
mornings.
Said. Exactly. And so, after this movie had come out, they shortly thereafter released the Digimon Adventure series. Now, we need to know about the Digimon Adventure series because if we want to understand Digimon the movie, we already have the first part. But then you're watching this movie and it just cuts to adult Ty. Not adult, but he's like late
Older.
middle school. Or
Uh-huh.
he's in
Yeah.
he's in like high school at this point. And they're supposed to be the same person, but much has happened that we as the audience, I guess, are supposed to know because they're not gonna. They've got like an hour and a half to do 3 movies. They're not gonna explain what happened in the series.
No.
So we will explain what happened in this strange time lapse that exists in this movie because they're just different times. They're 2 different movies that take place at different time
Different
in a young man's
ties.
life. Different ties. The ties that bind.
The tie line.
The tie. Okay, that's good. That's the better one. All right. We're in the movie. We transition to older Ty, and we get some sick ass ska music because this movie has so much ska music in, and it's so rockin'.
I gotta see if
and
I can
it's
find a
so
vinyl for
bumpin',
you of
and
this
there's like,
soundtrack.
I don't need a vinyl. I know all of the. I was like listening to it, and I'm like, wait, I know these guys. This is Bowling for Soup and fucking Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. I love this shit.
So stupid.
This is awesome. I love it. That was another way that they sort of like bridge the gap between like non
Americanize it, yeah.
sequiturs is they just have a bunch of ska music, and I was so distracted I didn't even know they were different movies. I was just like, that
my
is the
God.
impression I get. Thank you, Agumon. That's awesome. It's 1999, so let's do some 90 kid shit and go through the Digimon Adventure series, otherwise known as Digimon Adventure 01 or Digimon the series, or whatever you want to call it, but it's the first animated Digimon series that was designed to be an episodic TV kids show.
Holy
So-
shit! Sorry, I'm still. Sorry, the soundtrack, man. Fucking
Yeah, it's bumping.
One
It's
Week
bumping.
by Bare Naked Ladies is on.
Yes!
Is this why you know 1 Week?
Yes, Fran.
Oh shit! Okay, this makes a lot of sense now.
I
is
told
so
you,
formative.
it's epic.
Wow.
Again, just
All
no
Star
respect.
from Smash Mouth is on here.
Yes, that's how they end. They end the movie with Smash Mouth.
Wow.
And it
my
makes no
God.
sense.
Man, less than
Oh my
Jake? Dang. All
God.
right. This is great.
Man, I told you, this is a
This is great.
star-studded cast.
Oh, wow. I'm going to get you a cassette.
It's amazing. I listen to all these songs all the time anyway.
I know. I just got to frame this one or something. I don't know.
So we have our 7 kids. These are going to be the 7 children that you as the watcher can kind of pick one to be your, like, you know, they encompass all... They encompass all of the different types of children so that you as the viewer can like choose which one you want to be in the world.
That's so many children to keep track of, though.
It is. 7 is a lot.
There's a reason why like it's usually like 3. Lizzie McGuire, 3. Kim Possible, 2, and a naked mole rat. You know, like
I was reading
3.
through the synopsis for the show, and it was like, there are the 7 kids. I'm like, there's not 7 kids. And I was reading through it, and I'm like, there was 7 kids. Holy shit.
it's a lot.
There are 7 kids that are all at summer camp, so they don't like know each other. They're all like meeting each other at summer camp, and then whoa, they all get teleported through a mystical portal, and they wake up inside of a new land. In a way, they do get isekai'd, although I don't think they die. I think they just become digitized. The digital realm does exist. It is the place where all of our data lives. So the Google servers, I guess today, would be
Amazon
the
servers
digital realm.
also.
Yeah. But
Right.
in the 90s, it was sort of this ethereal space where your phone data lives.
Angel Fire and GeoCities.
And
Right,
if
it's
you're watching
Pixelated
Digimon,
flames.
if you're watching Digimon the movie, there is a voiceover by Kari, the little girl from the first movie, that happens over the entirety of the movie. That's kind of like helping you along, explain it, even though there's no way you could understand it.
She's explaining it like while Ska's playing over her.
Yeah,
speaker.
exactly. But if they don't bounce it at all. They just play the song over the top. You can't hear anything. That would be a good movie.
I look forward to the abridged series.
As she explains, the digital world, it's not really a place, even though there are doors to get to it, and people go back and forth all the time, apparently, as the series go on, and it definitely is like a place that exists, but it's the digital space, the digital world. And so the 7 kids wake up in the digital world, the Digi world, and they also seem to have little purchasable items, you know, little digital monster style keychain devices that ties in very well with the merchandising department. But these are known as the Digivices, and the name comes from being a digital device, which
Amazing.
But the Digivices also come with a set of baby Digimon that have decided to be the companions to these 7 kids that got teleported into the digital realm.
For reasons?
For prophesied reasons.
Of course
Prophesied within the stars, Fran. These children were
From
destined
StarClan?
to come here.
Within
Star
the
Clan come and
digital
talk to them?
stars.
Fran, you might even say that these kids were Digidestined to come
No.
here. But let's
No.
not get ahead of ourselves.
That can't be real.
So
hell
these seven kids with their Digivices have their Digimon companions. Let's meet these 7 children so that we can figure out which one we want to relate to as the series goes on. First off, we'll do the one that I, of course, relate to, which is Tai Kamiya. He is the boy from the original short movie. And he's got his big fluffy brown hair, and he, as you said, does wear goggles. There is a I don't even know if it's a trope, but it's just sort of a truth of the Digimon universe that the leader of the group, the like de facto leader, is the one who wears goggles. So much so that in the Digimon wiki, if you search Goggle Boy, it will just give you the list of the like, lead protagonists for all of the groups.
Right, yeah.
But it's like, this is just the first group of kids. Obviously, there's like more series after this. Every series has a leader, and every leader is a Goggle Boy.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
with brown
we
fluffy
don't-
hair?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
It can vary a little bit, but the goggle is a must.
Right.
Okay.
We don't have an Ash Ketchum that we follow throughout the whole series. We just have a pair of goggles.
Right.
Okay.
It's the goggle boy. And
Did
so
they keep Agumon? Is Agumon
Yes.
the Pikachu?
yeah, so Agumon is like the face of Digimon.
Okay.
He's like the cool one, and Agumon is Tai's
He's smaller
companion.
now, right? He's not as big as
He
a
is.
bus anymore.
Well, right now, so you're right. We should back up a little bit. So the Digimon work a little bit differently, both in the first original movie and in the digital devices that you could buy. So the Digimon still have stages, and you still have to like grow them up and then be stages. But now the Digimon have slightly different stages, and it works a little bit differently. But they still start as babies or fresh. They're fresh Digimon. They come out of their eggs fresh, which is gross. So we'll just call them babies. And they're still, when you're a baby, you're still like a little, fuzzball. And you don't have any like discernible features. And then you digivolve from that phase into the in-training phase, otherwise known as Baby 2, where you're still like an orb. That's what Koromon was, where he's just like a pink orb with teeth and a face and like long flappy ears. They tend to not hang out in this phase too much unless something like bad happens to them that like knocks them back into their babyhood, which does happen every once in a while. But like again, they don't like lose their memories.
So
They're made of digi data.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
it's just data. But
you should think of these things less like Pokemon evolutions and more like Super Saiyan.
true, that's a good point, and it does draw a lot of parallels with it.
I don't know if that helps
that I'll
me.
talk about in a bit.
Okay, I tried.
But after you have a baby 2 or in training Digimon, it can digivolve then to the rookie stage. And Agumon's a rookie stage. So most of the Digimon
Child
hang
stage? Is rookie stage and child stage?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's basically child stage.
Okay.
So a rookie is basically the default for all of the like Digimon companion. They all hang out in their rookie stage for the most part, again, unless something bad happens or if they digivolve to do a fight. But generally speaking, a Digimon is in its rookie phase. At least these ones are. There are other like wild Digimon that hang out in higher stages. They just are that stage. But for the most part, our main protagonist Digimon hang out in the rookie stage.
Okay.
You can train up your Digimon though, and so it will eventually become a champion Digimon. You can
Only if you
digivolve
clean
it
its
to
poop.
champion. You gotta clean its poop good, and you gotta feed it. That's the other thing. Digimon in the series, there's a real like emphasis on making sure your Digimon are fed. I think that's just a holdover from when they were like pocket creatures.
Yeah.
Because they're always like, I can't digivolve. I'm so hungry. Oh,
So
if only I had food.
hungry.
If only I had food, I could digivolve, but I can't because I'm hungry. They say they're hungry all the time.
Do
in the original
Digimon have like
series.
favorite foods too? It's like, oh man, I really should have some spaghetti right now.
I guess it's all like they're in the digital world though, so it's all like digi food. So it's
Oh.
made of data. They eat data, kinda, but they also are data in the same way that like we eat like chicken breasts, and we kind of
we
are
are.
chicken breasts in a way, but in like a in a
just like
metaphysical way.
like that, just like that.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. The Digimon can digivolve to champion, as it says in the opening song. Like, Digimon are the champions. That's what they mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what it
Yeah.
means.
They're
Okay.
digital monsters. Digimon are the champion.
Oh,
So the champion is their, like, sort
They're
of
not always
go-to
a champion.
fighting stage.
okay.
Right. You can go beyond. If you go beyond, digivolve beyond the champion stage, you can get to the ultimate stage. And then some Digimon are so powerful they can digivolve again to the mega stage.
Now, is
And-
this a situation where there was just like power creep in the series, so they kept adding stages
Absolutely.
at the end? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so, if you remember, when you're have the little pocket Digimon, you could get to the adult stage, which is kind of like champion stage, and then there's the perfect stage, which in this case would be like ultimate.
And that's perfect poop cleanup.
Exactly. But then the mega stage is like beyond that. And then sometimes they also call it the ultimate stage. So it goes from child, adult, perfect, ultimate. But ultimate is also the previous stage, depending on which dub you're listening to. So I don't know, man. It's just they get more
Don't
powerful.
think too hard about it.
Yeah.
There'll be a narrator telling you what's going on, I'm sure.
For our intents and purposes, it's going to go Rookie, Champion, Ultimate, Mega.
Okay.
Even though I do think Ultimate's probably above Mega. If I said I'm going to enter my Ultimate phase, you'd be like, oh, that's his best phase. And then I'd be like, no, my Ultimate phase is actually my penultimate phase to Mega. And you'd be like, I don't, okay, whatever. So we have, the Digimon are all going to start as baby twos in this series, but they'll get to their rookie stage and they'll just sort of stay there. So we're just going to talk about them.
Oh, so Agumon's not Agumon right now.
Nope, he's Koromon right now when they first meet.
Are there ever any like convergent or divergent like
absolutely
stages?
Yeah.
Like
so
multiple
a big
Koromons
mechanic
can like split.
Yes. So a big mechanic in the video games and in the series sometimes is that when you digivolve, you
like
don't
actual
always
video
digivolve.
Games, not the,
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the keychain.
When you digivolve, you don't always digivolve into the same thing.
Oh.
Depending on how you like raise the Digimon, they can digivolve down one tree or another tree.
Huh.
So Koromon is actually the baby to a bunch of different branches of other rookie Digimon.
Huh.
And then they can go from there. So a lot of people actually like the games
That's kind of cool.
that do that better than Pokemon because you can kind of, you can raise your Digimon differently and they will become different things.
Right.
That's interesting, actually.
So it's neat, but in this series, they'll always digivolve into the same.
Okay.
Like, they go down the same tree.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's.
Because there's already 7 main characters to keep track of. We can't be introducing divergent.
Later series would get like super complicated with their many different alternate forms and like. Yeah, this is alternate ultimate form Greymon, it's...
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, for the most part, we just have we have our 7 characters and there's 7 companion Digimon.
Okay, so we got Tai.
So, we've got Tai and Agumon. And like Ethan said earlier, they really wanted to make this like a Western friendly. So they would like they would just change their names. You know how they do that sometimes.
Brock.
Yeah, it's not Jotaro, it's
Ash.
Joe. Yeah. Exactly. So he was originally Yagami Taichi, but that's too much.
Too much. It's too Japan.
Too Japany. So we're going to make him Tai, and so he's Tai, and he has his companion Agumon, who, like you said, is just a little cute orange dinosaur.
Not bus-sized anymore.
He's not bus-sized. So the Digimon now are all sort of standard size, and the rookie level Digimon are all kind of like, I don't know, knee to hip height.
Yeah. Good plush-sized
exactly
Pokemon.
and these are all like middle
Digimon,
school kids.
excuse me.
So Fran.
Sorry.
Don't ever make them.
I'm sorry. Pocket monsters, digital monsters. I should know the difference.
It's their own thing. They're doing their own thing. They're not just copying Pokemon.
Completely separate.
It's different. So obviously, I'm the Tai of the group.
Main character
but
syndrome. Yep.
Let's meet the rest of the characters. So we have Ishida Yamato, also known as Matt. He is the sort of older, more matured kid of the group. He's got more of a level head. He's an older brother, so he kind of acts as like an older brother to the whole group, but also as a literal older brother to another member of the group. And he is partnered up with Gabumon, who's a little walrus man.
That sounds so cute.
Yeah.
Agumon and Gabumon are like the main two. If you liked the show as a kid, you would usually associate with either Matt or Tai. They were kind of the like main protagonists.
Right. Yeah, it's that thing that like all shows do after Dragon Ball had like Goku and Vegeta, right? Where there's one of them that's very earnest and one of them that's very cool, and you will like one of those.
Yeah, exactly. These two are usually at odds with each other. They have a differencing of opinions on how to do stuff. Tai's a lot more hot-headed, and Matt's a lot more, reserved and kind of think this through, but they still work together as a team eventually. They have to like learn to like each other because again, they're just kind of strangers at this point. They met at summer camp.
We got to do a full Breakfast Club movie in here, but they get there.
That movie's boring. Next up is
it doesn't have enough monsters that evolve.
Up next is Takemichi Sora or Sora. She's a girl. She has all the personality traits that girls have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
surprised they didn't give her a Tamagotchi.
Tai thinks she's cute. She wears like a flappy beanie hat or whatever, the ones with the little strings that come down on both sides. like
Okay.
the ear flap hat.
Yeah.
And her Digimon, I almost said Pokemon. Her Digimon is Paimon, who is a pink bird, a cute little pink bird that walks on 2 legs and has bird arms. So
It's birding.
all the Digimon
Okay.
are a little humanoid. Digimon tend to be more humanoid than Pokemon, generally speaking. And in some cases just are big, powerful buff dudes that turn little children into furries because it's like, I'm Lionmon. And it's like, okay, Lionmon, why would you not be like
A lion?
Absmon or like Blasted Chestmon? Because for fuck's sake, he's just a big buff dude with a lion head.
Yeah,
It's
hell
crazy.
Very
It's
strange.
crazy some of the stuff they get away with.
But they're not. It's not the children that are. Doing
No,
that.
the
It's
children
monsters.
are middle schoolers, and they're not like sexy anime middle schoolers, which is great.
That's good.
They're just like regular kids.
That's good.
But the Digimon, damn son, they're something else. We also have Izumi Koshiro, or Izzy. Izzy's a bit of a computer whiz. He's their tech guy. Which is very helpful when you're in the Digi world.
How does he like
he
manipulate the digital world while he's in there? Does he like?
He has a laptop. He brought his
Inside.
laptop to camp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Inside
Yeah,
the
he-
digital
he
realm.
Well,
is-
what's the
that-
problem, Fran? That they're in the realm that the computer connects to, but also they have a computer. I don't see any problem with that, sort of spatially, mathematically, set theory wise. That's probably fine.
I'm sure that's fine.
And his companion Digimon is Tentomon. He
Is it-
talks like this.
Does it have tentacles?
No,
No,
he's
he's a little ladybug.
He's a ladybug.
Oh.
He's got he's kind of nervous. He's
Yeah,
like a
he's-
nervous Nelly.
A
He's
nervous
a
Nelly
ladybug.
ladybug?
Yeah, a ladybug with an anxiety disorder. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
he's really good. I like him. He's like, oh no, the creature's too strong. He's very cute. There's Tachikawa Mimi. Is Mimi. She is like an American foreign exchange student.
Of course.
And she's like the cool hip girl. She's always like in style, and she's
the fashionable one.
Right. She's Vogue. So this is the late 90s. So of course the fashionable one is wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat for some reason.
I think that's because she's an American. Yeah.
I guess because
Yeah.
she's American. But she's very posh.
A posh
and
cowboy girl. Okay.
Yeah. And her companion is Palmon, who is a little like flower, a little green flower. Well, it's like green vines are kind of her body. She's like humanoid vine
Okay.
shaped, and then the top of her head is a pretty flower.
Okay. So there are 2 girls in this group of
There's
7.
2 girls. One of them is girl, and the other one is like cool girl.
Yeah.
So
One's
I don't
girl,
know. Take
one's
your
popular girl. All right.
pick. There is Keto Joe, or just Joe, as he's known in the anime. He's a nervous Nelly. He's uptight. He's about the rules. He's very uncomfortable in this world because he's not an adventure boy. He's kind of an inside boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he is he's just very unsure of himself. And he's joined by Gomamon, who's a little seal, who's actually a good like counter to him because he's kind of like a little more confident. He's like, come on, Joe, you can do it. You just gotta believe in yourself. He's
Aw.
like, oh, I don't think so, dude. These are like
Yeah.
big scary monsters. He's like, no, seriously,
Aw.
if you just believe in me, I'll digivolve and kill them all. And he's like, oh, I don't know, man. That's just like,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
I had
Well,
forgotten
that's a
about
little
that
hype boy.
because they have the opposite thing with the little ladybugmon where he's all anxious and Izzy is like, I've run the numbers, it's fine.
Yeah,
Like stop
it-
stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes their Digimon just sort of reflect their personality, but sometimes they kind of like balance it out.
Yeah.
Especially with the side characters, because
kinda
the side
cute.
characters are a little less likable. But their Digimon are like there to support them. And then finally rounding out the group is the little brother of Matt, who is TK, or Taikaishi Takaru, which is, I'm not surprised they changed it to TK. He's just the little brother, so he's like in elementary school where the rest of them are in middle school. And so, he's just like kid personality. And he is joined by Patamon, and Patamon is a little loaf of bread with a little yellow loaf of bread with ears that let him fly around. And he's also kind of like a childish Digimon. Like the two of them kind of take longer to like, grow up a little bit as the rest of them do during the series. And so they both are kind of like the little brothers, both to the kids and the Digimon. And so that's our group. Those are our 7 children adventurers in the digital realm. And they have, like I said, they just woke up. They have these Digimon companions, and they are, for the most part, just trying to find a way to get home, to get out of the digital world. But as they will soon see, it won't be so easy. By the way, as far as our original plan to get through the movie, we're still only 20 minutes through the movie because
this is the space between
we just introduced. Okay, so do we all know what's going on here? We're trying to decipher a movie that I liked when I was a kid, right?
Yep.
We've got that. The movie, we have to parse through a lot of things. It's made up a bunch of other movies. We got through the first one, which is based on a concept for a toy that they sold to children to compete with Tamagotchis, but for boys. I don't think they was competing. I think it was all
Sure, yeah.
Bandai Namco.
But that movie follows Ty, boy
that
with goggles,
movie Ty,
and his sister.
and then they made a series. They wanted a series now, and then they took that boy Ty from the movie
and gave him
and
summer
then
camp.
then they put him in summer camp with a bunch of other kids, and then that became the Digimon series.
Okay.
Right. That
And
series,
all of these,
yeah,
all
that
of the
series
kids
is not
have-
in the movie, but you're expected to know it.
to know, because then the movie that we're talking about cuts from the original movie, which was like a short 20-minute movie, into an epilogue story of the kids from the series,
So suddenly, 6 other characters show up, is what you're telling me.
Right. Well, it's a new series. So
Yeah,
yes.
but I'm saying in the
there's
movie, in Digimon the movie, you're following 2
yes,
kids.
exactly.
And now there's
exactly
7.
It's just 2 kids at the beginning, and now all of a sudden there's 7.
And
that
you should
need to
just
know
know
about.
who they are.
And you don't know who they are. They just show up.
Okay.
And you're
then
just
they
like,
just-
okay, they must be friends or whatever.
Something.
I guess.
Why not?
Right. If this is your first, this is why I'm doing this. If it's your first Digimon media that you consume, which is very likely because it is Digimon the movie. It's the first movie that we got
Right.
in the West. And so you don't know what's going on. You couldn't know what's going on. That's why we're doing this. But then so we'll bridge that gap with this Digimon Adventure.
Follows
The
these
first
7
series,
kids.
which is these 7 kids with their Digivices, which look like a version of the Digivices you can buy in real life to take care of your Digimon, and they have Digimon, and they're in the digital world, and they're trying to get out of the digital world. That is their goal, is to pal up with their new Digimon partners to help train them and feed them and clean up their shit. They don't do as much shit stuff in the show, surprisingly.
I need to just
And-
get you guys birthday presents of all the shit that we talk about.
God, I would hate that
And-
so much.
And that is a chore. I do not give gifts that are chores to people because I hate that shit. Oh, here's a thing that you have to take care, like a plant. Here's a plant you have to take care of every day or it will die, and then you will have a dead
Right.
plant, which
I
is
don't like
worse
getting
than having no
flowers.
plants.
I really don't like getting flowers.
You don't have to take care of flowers though. They will just
They
die.
will
You're just supposed
die.
to look at them.
But you're supposed to
and
put
see how
them in
pretty
water
they are in the
and
moment.
shit.
Just
and
see
I'm
how
just
pretty
like,
they
I
are in the
don't-
moment and just let them die.
Where
Go
am I
on.
gonna find a vase? You know,
A vase?
I never have one that's like the right size, and then it's just
Yeah,
too
I mean-
big, too small.
away.
Imagine if someone gave you flowers, but those flowers do shit. You
Yeah,
have-
exactly. It would be awful. A terrible curse. A blight upon this household.
I'm gonna
is
eat
what
each of you
getting Digimon would be.
10
No.
little
monsters?
digital monsters.
No.
5 digital monsters, 5 Tamagotchis. Because you
So
buy
as
those
long
from
as
Target.
as
these
long
days.
as we're getting into this, let's all take a moment to realize that Digimon is chasing Pokemon clout. And
Right.
so, of course, on top of everything else, they've got movies, they've got video games, they've got the show now. There was also a card game. I did want to learn about it, so I can talk about it with you guys, but it is incomprehensible. No human, especially no child, could figure out how to play this fucking
Do they
game.
still sell the cards? Like,
They
are there,
do.
like, new
some
releases?
cards are even, quote, valuable. So I don't know. I don't know how the I tried to figure out how the fucking game worked.
Right. I just still to this day they're chasing Pokemon clout. Like Pokemon cards, the old ones had that like resurgence when Logan Paul or whoever the fuck was like buying them up.
Yeah.
And yeah, now they're
trying to do that.
Digimon cards are valuable too.
In
It's
2020,
crazy.
a new Digimon card game is born. They
Great.
completely revamped it within the past
No,
couple of
thank
years.
you.
If it's anything like the old one, I will I'll respectfully
You can
play.
get a box of it, like a gift box
But
from
each
Target.
each Digimon have a typing. They have like types, but you know how Pokemon has like 20 types of Pokemon. Digimon have 4,
Okay.
which makes it seem like it would be easier.
Yeah.
The names are really stupid though. There's vaccine type,
What?
which of course is good against
Virus?
virus type,
Oh no.
and then virus type is good against what is it? Of course, data type, which means that
Oh,
data
no.
type, of course, is good against vaccine type. And
I just
and then
wanna...
there's also the 4th type,
Well-
which is null type or formless type or
they
or
revamped
none
this
type.
card game in 2020
That's awesome.
with
Now
with
that makes
COVID and
perfect
vaccines and
that
bullshit,
makes perfect
and
sense to me. See,
They have
David
such terrible timing. It's all...
data type is good against vaccine type because when you do your research, you realize that the
That
vaccine is
vaccines are bullshit. You're right, Ethan. That's so smart.
Oh, no.
They really were way ahead of their time.
Oh
You're so
No.
right.
no.
Okay.
Oh, Bandai.
All right. We've got our digi boys
Okay,
and
so we have
girls
these
and-
7 children in the Digimon
In the
Adventures.
digital world, they're trapped in the digital world though. They're trying to escape, and so
Okay.
they're gonna go try to escape. As they go through their adventures, they realize that their Digivices, when used in conjunction with their Digimon partners, will allow their Digimon partners to digivolve into champion. So,
And
if the
Digimons are
bond-
the champion.
if the bond between the Digimon is high enough and they have a Digivice, then they can digivolve to a champion level, which lets them fight better.
Oh, wait,
And
hold
they
on.
use this to fight through the world.
Hold on. So, Digimon have friendship levels and stuff, right? Who had friendships level first, Pokemon or Digimon?
Well, the friendship level doesn't really. It's more of like taking care of them, kind of.
Oh,
So I
okay.
guess in that aspect, Digimon's always been about that. I mean, that's why they put it in there. Like you have
Yeah.
to. They're
Right.
always like looking for food to feed their Digimon so they can digivolve
Just
and
such
like
hungry
making
Digimon.
sure that they're in a good headspace or whatever. Like the vibe is good.
Right. Yeah, and so with these Digivolutions, which is what they fucking call them.
What?
Yep.
What word
Yeah,
was that?
the Digivolutions.
Digivolution.
Digivolution.
Digivolution, not Digievolution.
Digivolution.
Digivolution, friend. Very
Yeah.
good. You're getting it.
So
So
like we
terrible.
said, in the series, the child forms are the tiny cute ones, but when they digivolve, we do go back to being like, several story tall, like
Yes.
crazy
Oh,
monster
okay.
things.
Okay.
So like Greymon is a big Tyrannosaurus
again.
Rex, like
Yeah.
Godzilla monster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But they're like going through this world. They're like realizing this,
What does the digital
and
world look like?
It's weird. So it's a reflection of the regular world, kind of, but everything's named dumb. So I think they're on the server continent, which is stupid. And there's
Uh-huh.
also like there's File Island, and so it's all
Oh,
like
gosh.
it's all like physical manifestations of data.
But there is like buildings and stuff.
but it's
and
there's like
Okay.
towns and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
and like
it-
forests and stuff.
It looks like what it is, right? It looks like a bad RPG from the 90s.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know?
yeah, just it's definitely digital.
Yeah.
It is. Well, they're in the digital realm, but
Yeah.
it is digital.
Okay.
So they come across some not so friendly Digimon. That's weird. I thought all Digimon were cool and friendly. Well, some Digimon have been infected by a device called a black gear, which is implanted
Seriously?
into the Digimon's back and turns them evil.
Why did they go with a gear?
Because they're
in a digital
they're
realm. Gears
Because
are strictly mechanical.
No, the settings symbol is off. I mean, off a gear.
It would have been funnier if it was the black floppy. It's just
I don't like that.
the black floppy has entered them, and now they are evil.
Please, Ethan.
Once you go black floppy, you never go back.
More sense.
You never go back, Oppie.
Okay.
I don't have a great answer for you, friend.
Okay.
Hey, little inside the studio. We're in new territory now. We didn't lose any part of this, so we're coming in fresh to this. We didn't lose any.
Hence
any
my
of this.
confusion.
All right, so the evil Digimon are consumed by the black gear, but the
do they turn like grayscale colored when they get infected and stuff like that?
Not generally, no.
Oh,
They're
okay.
still because then you'd have to have a new character model. And the thing about Digimon as compared to Pokemon is they're very complex in their rendering. They're usually a lot more humanoid. I don't know how much you know about art, but humans are some of the hardest things to render because they're the most familiar to us. And so it's really easy to spot not stuff that's out of place or misproportioned or stuff like that.
Hence
so the kids
valley
the kids are actually less human looking than a lot of the Digimon because they have child chibi kid proportions, big heads and skinny little tube arms and stuff. But the Digimon are all big muscular buff guys and sexy girls. And so it was really expensive to produce this. Yeah, some of them are sexy women.
Many sexy lady Digimon.
Awesome.
When they digivolve.
When they digivolve. When they're in the rookie stages, they're usually just Pokemon-ish.
Cute and marketable.
But when they digivolve to champion or
they're
to
sexy and
ultimate,
marketable.
they tend to be sexy.
Interesting.
And it was crazy expensive to do this because it was they
made it far more complicated than it had to be.
Right. And the animation was more expensive.
Why would they do that
coming
to
up with
themselves?
character designs was more expensive.
Yeah.
And kids couldn't even replicate it at home. They couldn't draw their own fan art. It would always look really stupid unless it was the baby ones, which is the ones people tend to like more.
Yeah, I'm okay without the children drawing the sexy lion evolutions.
Well, it's just too hard. It's too.
I mean, well, and the kids who could draw the sexy lion evolutions again are the ones who would become.
They're all furry artists.
Yeah.
So. I guess that's good for them. They trained. They were able to train into their ultimate forms, which is a digital furry artist, which is great. But for everyone else, we were stuck with just drawing the ones that were just balls. They were just a ball with a face. But the kids are going around trying to find a way home. And they keep coming across all of these Digimon that have these black gears in them, and they keep defeating them by destroying the black gear.
I'm assuming that's the monster of the week setup.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you're they're traveling the island looking for a way home, and they're coming across all these new Digimon, and usually they're mad at them, but then they'll defeat them and destroy the black gear, and then they're friends now.
And they're buds. Yeah.
There's some other cool stuff that happens. There's one thing that I remember where Tai realizes that Agumon gets really strong as Greymon, and he's like, we should just train and you can become even stronger. And Agumon's like, hell yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
But then they train so hard that he becomes Skull Greymon, which is a version of Greymon that is all bones.
Oh.
And the lore is that he's essentially dead. He trained so hard he died, but he still only has the instinct of fighting.
What?
This is from the original game.
No.
What it would be like if you would just give them performance enhancing drugs, basically. It would digivolve, but it would digivolve into a skeleton monster. Ooh. And it's very strong, but the lore is that it's brainless. All it knows how to do is fight now. So he accidentally digivolved Agumon into Skull Greymon at one point, and then he went on a rampage for a while.
Aww.
And then eventually he tuckered himself out and became Agumon again. Well, I think that
shit, that was wild.
Well, in that instance, he goes all the way back down to baby stage, and then he has to eat enough food to get back to the rookie stage. But yeah,
and we all learned a valuable lesson that week.
Yeah, so you don't overtrain. It's about friendship. It's not about, just being as
Power.
strong as you can be.
Okay,
right?
that's a good lesson.
So they do stuff like that. But they come to realize that these black gears are the machinations of an actual evil Digimon, one that isn't being controlled by the black gears, but is controlling the black gears. It is Devimon, who is a devil Digimon. He's a man. He's a humanoid Digimon, but he has demon-like appearances. He's got really long arms, which are very unsettling, and killer abs. All of the Digimon humans have killer abs, but he's got like a demon face and like black wings. It seems to be that there is simply no way for any Digimon of a lower rank to beat a Digimon of a higher rank.
Okay.
So, and like, it doesn't matter how many there are. So imagine you have a champion level Digimon. It could be fighting 1,000 rookie levels and it would just win. So any higher ranked,
what a social hierarchy they have there.
Exactly. So any higher ranked Digimon are just better than the lower ranking components.
So is there like a
ability to be able to digivolve kind of levels the playing field in a lot of these instances. Because otherwise, like, Agumon as Agumon cannot beat a champion level. He just can't do it. But if he becomes Greymon, he can.
So is Devimon the evil one?
Devimon is
ultimate or something?
I believe he's still. So there is no ultimate level yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. The power creep hasn't creeped in yet.
Exactly. Everyone is stuck in their either their rookie or champion forms, which is why the original song is just Digivolve to Champion.
Okay.
Because that was like their fighting mode. When you Digivolve to Champion, you were doing a fight, and then you'd be a rookie.
But in the digital realm, some of the Digimon are just always in champion mode.
Yes, they just are champion level.
Okay.
So
can they ever regress to
not that we really see. They can change. So remember what I said? Remember when I was like, Digimon never truly die?
Yeah.
That's from the end of the movie. I'll skip to the end of the movie of Digimon the movie.
Okay.
There is well-established canon that in the digital world, when a Digimon is destroyed or deleted, it doesn't die. Its data still exists, and its data recompiles into a new Digi-Egg. And then the Digi-Egg hatches and becomes a new Digimon. So the cycle of digital life is sort of cyclical. You live as data, you die and become data, and then from data you are reborn as a new little monster.
So then why do the little Digimon that have human companions can switch between their champion to
because
rookie
the champions because their friends are Digidestined.
Yeah, the champions are not their like natural state of being. The companion Digimon are different than like the regular Digimon. I can tell.
That's why I'm confused.
The companion Digimon are just as prophesied as the humans that are their partners.
Oh.
As we will see in a little bit. But they
are
also
Digidestined.
Yes, they are fundamentally different. And as long as we're going to say it, yes. So Ethan, let the cat out of the bag. The children are the Digidestined. That is their title, is they are the Digidestined.
Oh, that's like a title. I thought
they are referred to and refer to themselves as the Digidestined.
No.
That is their title.
No.
Yes, that is what they're named.
And the companions.
The companions are also Digidestined, yeah.
To do what? What are they destined to do?
We're going to find out, friend. We're getting there.
But
So Devimon is being a real dick, and he's a champion level virus Digimon.
Type. Yeah.
And so the kids all have to train their Digimon to become champions, and then once they're able to manifest champion level using the Digidestined use their Digivices to Digivolve their Digimon to champion so that they can fight other Digimon. You got this? It's very simple. It's a very straightforward process. Mm-hmm. And Fran, do you know about transformation sequences in anime?
I sure do. Yep.
They love that shit because, like I said, it was so expensive. It's so fuck off expensive to make all this shit. They're all like animating human figures, so there's no less than like 10 transformation sequences per episode
And
because
they're,
they
like,
need
each
to
2
have those
minutes
canned
long.
animations to like even kind of be able to produce
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
And they have shortened versions they'll sometimes use, but they almost always do the full transformation sequence anytime.
Every time.
And they just go, Agumon, Digivolve
I
2,
I think I just didn't have the patience to watch these shows.
Greymon.
Yeah, I think I just didn't have the patience.
What?
to
You're
watch it.
supposed
was
to love that
awesome.
part, Fran. That's supposed to be the best
I don't
part.
think I have the patience as a child
Anyway,
or an
the
adult.
Digidestined defeat Devimon and stop all of his black gear shenanigans.
Good.
But they did not find a way out of the digital world after they did all this.
Oh,
So
well,
they're still
shit.
trapped in the digital world. But now they have their
Season still
Digimon.
goes on.
Now they have their Digimon that can become champion, which is good.
Uh-huh.
And now that they've defeated Devimon, they are contacted by a mysterious old man. He is named Genai. And he says, hey, your champion Digimon, they're pretty cool. But if you want to get home, you're going to have to find a way to Digivolve to Ultimate. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about, old man? And he said, listen, come to Server Continent and you'll figure out all will be revealed, all right? And they're like, all right, well, we got nowhere else to go. We're stuck in the Digi world. So they go to the Server Continent. And
Is it actually an old man or is it a Digi old
he's
man?
known as an agent. He is a human.
Okay.
He's human. I
Okay.
think he's humanoid. He's not a Digimon.
Okay. He's not a Digimon.
And he's like, yes, I'm old man Genai. I foresaw that you children would be chosen as the Digidestined.
Oh, he's the prophet?
I think he's the one who I can't remember if he is the prophet or if he's just kind of guiding the prophecy along or what the heck. But he's the wise old man who's like helping with his wisdom.
Okay.
And he's like, you are all the Digidestined, and I will help you become your full potential Digidestined selves, but to do so, you're going to have to unlock the power of your crests. And they're like, what the fuck's a crest, old man?
What?
And so he gives them a
Keychains?
bunch of he gives them a bunch of like necklaces that are called tags. And he's like, these tags contain the crests of the Digidestined. You must unlock the power of the Digidestined crests, and then you'll be able to Digivolve to Ultimate. And they're like, all right, old man, if you say so. And he's like, and you need to do this because there's an evil Digimon. He's part of the prophecy too, and you're gonna have to beat him, especially if you want to get back to the real world. And they're like, all right, old man, whatever you say.
Okay. I hope that you're able to buy Digicrests at the store.
Probably, yeah.
And
I mean,
that
they're just
they
like
work
pieces
with
of
your
metal.
Probably not that-
I don't know,
probably
maybe
not
in
that
like
much
the later
integration.
versions. I don't know.
Okay.
But they're like, all right, so we need to get our Digimon to ultimate level if we want to be able to get out of here.
So this isn't even power creep. This was just intentionally adding another stage.
So far, there's no power creep.
Yeah, they're just
It's
intentionally
is
adding
part
another
of the,
stage.
The ultimate phase would be what we would call the perfect phase in the original like game.
Got it. Now this isn't the end of the adventure series. This is just like halfway through it. So
not even.
So the part
We're
of
taking a lot
Digimon
of
the
breaks.
movie hasn't come yet. Still hasn't come yet. Okay.
No, we're
There's
still
a lot
following
that
this
happened.
We're still following the codes.
the
Well, see,
first
the
third
thing
and
is,
the
if we
second
want to
third.
understand the movies, we need to know the levels of the Digimon because they will use that in the movie. They'll use
Okay.
those levels.
Okay.
So the next thing that happens is they go on these like episodic quests to unlock the power of their crests.
Great.
It's like a big stuffed bear. He's named Edamon. He's like the next big villain. It doesn't really matter. He also is like his voice is like an Elvis impersonator for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't design these. All right. He just is that. There's no explanation. He just is that. Okay. And he's ultimate level. He's the first ultimate level enemy that they're against. And so even being champions, none of them are able to beat him. But Tai is the first to unlock his crest, which is the Crest of Courage.
Of course.
And
it is.
using the Crest of Courage, he's able to Digivolve Agumon, and then Greymon, and then Metal Greymon.
that's
And Metal Greymon
Slightly
is powerful enough to defeat Edamon. And he does so.
I mean, listen, friend, you got the choice. You can have him become Metal Greymon or Sexy Greymon.
Nice. Yeah,
So-
Greymon does not become like a hot humanoid. Gabumon, on the other hand, turns into Were-Garurumon, who's a werewolf, but you better fucking believe he's got rocking 8 packs of abs and big, powerful chests. So,
Oh dear.
So you can choose between Dinosaur, who's not sexy but like cool, like
I
fucking
just was
radical
fully
missiles and
prepared
stuff,
for.
or sexy werewolf.
I was just prepared for evolutions that had no relation to the previous one. So
Most of them don't. There's one he's like an armadillo, and then he turns into like a drill tank, which I guess kind of makes sense, but there's
Sort of.
some that
They're
are like
loose.
That's why, like, I was
There's-
slightly disappointed that it was just Greymon and now a metal one. It's like, well,
Agumon's like kind of the most consistent one.
Yeah.
He's like the one that is just like that makes the most sense. But like
Okay.
Gabumon is like a seal, and then he evolves into like a wolf. So, and then the wolf evolves into a man, and then eventually that man evolves into a different wolf. So like I don't know. I don't want to confuse you too much at the top. So Greymon's a pretty good linear line, but yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely like he's the exception to the rule.
to the
if
rule.
anything.
Okay. All right.
But Metal Greymon defeats Edamon, but during this encounter, they're all split up. All the Digidestined are split up, so Tai has to sort of recollect the Digidestined as the
Man,
leader.
How many seasons has this been?
And then when he does this, he also has to like help them unlock their crests by doing, the different thing that the crest represents. So Tai had to be courageous and fight even when it seemed like he wouldn't be able to defeat Edamon, and he did. And then the rest of them have to unlock their crests as well. Their crests, real quick, just so we kind of get the vibe of the show. Matt's crest is the crest of friendship. He and Tai are constantly at odds, but he needs to realize that they need to come together as friends to work together to save his little brother.
I'm gonna let you get through this. So I have thoughts.
Sora's is a girl, so hers the crest of love because she's a girl. Full stop. Izzy is the crest of knowledge. He's an inquisitive little boy. He's got to use his smarts to his advantage. Mimi is the crest of purity. She is a child.
Girl.
She's a girl child. So she must be pure. Women must be pure. Joe's is the crest of sincerity. He's always nervous, but he's always, he's a straight shooter. He's gotta realize that that's a power too. And then TK is the little kid. He's the crest of hope. He's always a hopeful little boy.
I am just a little frustrated because you guys gave me so much shit when I did the My Little Pony little elements of harmony.
Yeah, but you like that, Fran. This is bullshit. I'm first to admit this is bullshit.
Exactly. I was just thinking. I was like, if it makes you feel better, Fred, I hate them both. Like,
I do actually like this.
Okay.
Can I tell you? Ethan said that they get more complicated. We're not going to cover this, but in the second series, when Digimon evolve, they need to use armor digi eggs to evolve, which allows them to evolve into different forms. And the armored digi eggs also have like these same kind of crests.
That's so much stupider than the elements of
virtues
harmony.
associated with them. So instead of digivolving, they say like Vmon armor digivolve 2, and then they would digivolve, but then he'd be like Flame Dramon,
At least
the fires of courage.
At least the
And it was
elements
awesome.
were consistent of like there's 6 of them and they stay 6 of them the entire time.
Listen, they got to change it up so that kids want to keep like, what kind of crazy digivolving are they doing next? And they do just keep adding new types of digivolving, by the way. But we'll get there. Don't worry.
Okay, so they have all their
so
crests. They do their
They all
quests.
they all combine back together.
Unlock their
Eventually, they
true
all get
selves.
their crests
Yep,
through their
yep, 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 yep.
trials, and they unlock all of the ultimate level forms for their Digimon.
Yep.
And while they do this, their main antagonist has been Myotismon. He is a Digimon that looks like a vampire. I wouldn't say he is a vampire. I would say he's vampire themed.
Okay.
Because
Well, there wouldn't be any blood in the digital realm. Because...
Well, he is a vampire, but like he's like a vampire who's like dressed like a guy. He's like if a vampire cosplayed as a vampire. He looks like that. Like he's got
That's awesome.
He puts like bat symbols all over his outfit. He's like wearing a big cape. he's got fangs and like is a vampire, but he also wears a mask that has bat wings on it, and it's kind of a hat on a hat in most of these instances.
Really,
and his
emphasizing the bat motif of the vampire.
Exactly.
Right.
Got
and
it.
also his arms are too long also. Evil has just arms that are too
So
long.
lanky
arms,
people are
right.
evil.
They're always really slender arms, and they're
And
always really
lanky.
long and
Ugh.
lanky. Right.
We have to keep an eye on Ben then.
So
Yeah,
oh,
absolutely.
no. So Myotismon is an evil Digimon, and he's got evil plans. And his main evil plan, while all the children, he's trying to like thwart the children, but what his real plan is to go into the human world, the regular world, because he wants to find the 8th Digidestined. That's right. There aren't 7 Digidestined. There are 8. And he wants
Why
to
does
go
he want to find them?
Because the Digidestiny is that the 8 Digidestined will come together to defeat Digi-Evil. So he already knows the 7 Digidestined that exist.
Yeah.
And they've already achieved their ultimate forms.
Okay.
So he's like, if I find the 8th Digidestined and destroy them before they realize their Digidestiny, then the prophecy will be broken and evil will reign supreme.
But how would they discover their Digidestiny if they are not in the digital realm anyway? Like, I feel like this
prophecy.
is a problem
You know,
that
how
we
did
need to
how
solve.
did how did
that
these
wasn't
7
a-
discover their Digidestiny even though they weren't in the Digi realm? It just happens, Fran. That's what prophecy is.
Yeah, but I feel like they would have brought the 8th one in if like it was like they were planning on it.
So Myotismon goes into the real world with
I
all
feel
of
like he
his
just shot
minions.
himself in the foot. That's all I'm saying.
And
he's damned if he
he's-
does and damned if he doesn't, Fran.
He's searching for the 8th Digidestined, and the other Digidestined follow him into the real world.
Oh, so they
And-
escaped. Great.
And with
They're done.
with their Digimon, but even with all 7 of them at their ultimate level, they cannot defeat Myotismon. This is a good time to point out that Myotismon has a lieutenant in his like dark army named Gatomon, who is a little cat. And
Okay.
she's very cute, but she's very vicious.
As cats are.
They're trying to figure out who the 8th Digidestined is. They have no leads.
They just showed up. No plan. All right.
So this is where we tie back into the movie because this part is absurd. So spoiler alert, the 8th Digidestined is Tai's younger sister, Kari.
Oh.
As
the
is
first
stated
part of the movie.
As is stated in the Digimon the movie. What they realized after those 2 giant Digimon fought each other is that all of the kids who witnessed the Digimon fighting each other would eventually become the Digidestined. So the
okay.
fact that Kairi wasn't there from the beginning is a very obvious, like, they should have all been like, oh yeah, we all saw those, hey, these Digimon are weird, right? Do you guys remember when we were all a little younger and those giant Digimon fought in the streets?
Yeah.
But they never mention it to each other. They only realize after the fact that all the
Okay.
Digidestined like witnessed this. But if they would have said that, they would have been like, oh, there's another Digidestined. It would have to be Kari, my
Yeah.
little sister, who was also there
Yeah.
and integral to the plot of this original Digimon movie.
Okay.
But whatever. They figure out that Kari's the
8th one.
last of the Digidestined.
Okay.
But she doesn't have a Digimon companion.
Because she's in the real world. Yeah.
Well, Genai says, way back when, I have been trying to get this prophecy like moving,
Rolling,
right?
yeah.
I'm trying to keep
Make
this
it move.
prophecy going.
Let's go.
I was able to find the 8 Digimon, the 8 Digimon babies that
Okay.
would eventually be the companions to the Digidestined.
Oh, okay. So he's
And
been doing a lot of
so-
legwork then.
And
All
so
right.
he was intent on raising them so that they would be ready to meet their Digidestined partner. However, when Myotismon got word of this, he went to go and kidnap the Digimon so that they could never be with their Digidestined.
Okay.
But Genai was able to escape with 7 of the 8 Digidestined, and the 8th Digimon that was left
Is it
behind
his lieutenant?
was Gatomon, who he brainwashed into being his lieutenant to do evil things. But then once Gatomon eventually, they have to do the whole thing where it's like, no, Gatomon, you're being brainwashed. Kairi's your Digidestined and all that stuff, and they get through that, and then the two of them are finally united, and then the Kairi gets her Digivice, and she unlocks her crest, which is the crest of light. And there is a prophecy. This is part of the prophecy.
Okay, I was gonna say another one.
This one's a lot more specific because they say it in the anime. But they say the sky will be darkened by the wings of many bats.
Okay,
the
fat
fallen
guy.
people will invoke the name of the undead Digimon King, and when the clock strikes the hour of the beast, then angels will shoot arrows of hope and light at the loved ones of those they have been sent to protect, and a miracle will happen. Can you
super specific prophecy?
Who's the
Can you
undead
decipher?
Digimon King? Is it Agamon skeleton form?
That's Myotismon.
Okay, but I thought that was the bat. Yeah, I thought he was the bat one.
Well,
or is
he
bats
is.
and the undead Digimon King?
Yeah, he's both.
What is the hour of the beast then? Is this like some tarot card thing?
Well, so
or like the number of the beast? That's a biblical thing, right?
Well, so here's what happens.
So it's 666. Then
Patamon, who looks like a little corgi with bat wings on his head.
Yeah.
And Gatomon, who looks like a little cat.
A cat. Yeah.
You were wondering about the evolutions, the digivolutions of these creatures, right?
Yes.
Well,
sure.
Kairi and TK are both like little siblings. They're like the youngest ones.
Okay.
So they're the last to get their Digimon to digivolve.
Okay.
But what they figure out is that Patamon can digivolve to his champion version, which is Angemon, which is an angel man.
Okay.
And Gatomon can digivolve, who's a cat, a tiny just cat. Angemon digivolves to Angewomon.
Oh no.
And Angewomon's just a beautiful angel lady.
Okay.
And the two of
a beautiful scantily clad angel lady.
Of course. That's how angels are.
The two of them both use arrow attacks that are light arrows.
Okay.
So now can you figure out what the prophecy's about? Because here's
hope
what happens.
and light. Oh, crest of hope and the crest of light.
So they are able to use Angemon and Angewomon to defeat Myotismon.
But then they attack their
However,
friends.
Myotismon then transcends the Myotismon form and becomes a new Digimon. He becomes Venom Myotismon.
Oh, and that's the beast. Okay.
And Venom Myotismon is beyond ultimate level, meaning that none of the ultimate level Digimon can fight him.
Okay.
Because he is now a mega level Digimon.
Once again, not really power creep. They just kind of did this to themselves.
Well, this is now a new level. This was not in the original games. The mega level is beyond the perfect level.
Okay.
So Venom Myotismon is the beast, I assume.
Uh-huh.
The undead king will reveal himself in his true form, the beast.
Okay.
So now the angels will shoot arrows of hope and light at the loved ones of those they have been sent to protect, and a miracle will happen.
Oh, they're going to shoot the Digimon.
So Angemon and Angewomon are both the Digimon of TK and Kairi, who are both the younger siblings of Matt and Tai.
Okay.
So TK uses Angemon to shoot the light arrow at Matt, and Angewomon shoots the light arrow at Tai.
Yeah.
And when they do so, they unlock the mega forms of both of their Digimon.
Do they turn into the Digimon? Like, do they start drifting or anything like that? Okay.
No. And so their Digimon ascend from being Metal Greymon and Were-Garurumon, and they become War Greymon and War Garurumon.
Okay.
Who are both the only mega level attainable that the Digidestined have amongst them.
Okay.
But with the power of those two at their mega forms, they are able to defeat Venom Myotismon and save the world.
So is this part of Digimon the movie? Or is this still part of the series?
Okay.
Well,
is it part of the movie?
Yes, no, this is very important. So, the Digimon can digivolve to champion just using the Digivices.
Yes.
And then the Digimon can use the crests to Digivolve to Ultimate.
Yes.
But 2 of their Digimon, Agumon and Gabumon, can Digivolve into a Mega form, but there isn't a established channel that does that.
Well, it's
so
the light
what
arrows.
they do, well,
right?
that's only the first time. Now they can just do that, though.
Oh, they can just do it now. Okay.
Yeah, they've unlocked the ability to do that. What it's called, they can warp Digivolve, which is a way for them to go from a lower phase to a higher phase while still skipping all the in-between phases.
Of course.
So Agumon can warp Digivolve directly into War Greymon.
Yeah, we didn't mention this before, but when CJ was saying, they like do the Digivolution animation like 10 times during an episode.
It's because
that's
they have to
also
get through all the
because
stages.
they couldn't skip the earlier ones.
They do each phase. So they would play back to back immediately with no interruption. So it would be like Agumon Digivolve to Greymon, and then it was like Digimon. Digimon, and then it would start over.
And
then it would be like Greymon Digivolve 2.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
No.
Because
So-
all of the
so
Digilutions started with like a little soundtrack that was like Digimon, Digimon, and it would just happen over and over. It was so good.
It was a solid like 20 to 30 seconds for each one, and then you play like 8 of them in an episode in a 20-minute episode. Yeah.
Man, it's the fourth of your
now,
time.
So now these 2 can warp Digivolve into Mega levels.
Okay.
This is not where the prophecy ends, though, because they are prophesized to have saved both the Digi world and the regular world. So they've saved the regular world for the most part. But the 2 are kind of interlinked in a way that is inexplicable because I guess data is all around us, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But
Like, at what point is it no longer a prophecy and just seeing the future? I feel like there's a certain amount of information, and then they will have lunch, and will be a...
we'll talk about it soon, Ethan. Don't worry. But you guys are gonna have to bear with me on this because this is just a thing that happens, and I don't want to get too into it. But while they were in the human realm, kicking the shit out of Myotismon, and then Venom Myotismon, there are 4 Digimon back in the Digi world called the Dark Masters who are waiting for their chance to rise and take over the digital realm. And so while the Digidestined were gone beating the shit out of Myotismon, they reformatted the digital world, which is a thing you can do.
Okay.
And so now
Sounds
it's a
dangerous.
giant, instead of being a bunch of continents, now it's a giant spiral tower. And the spiral is split into 4 sections, and each of the 4 Dark Masters rule one of the 4 parts of the new Digi world that got reformatted.
Is
and
this
so the
the
Digidestined
third
have
movie
to-
they were trying to shove in?
No.
No.
And so the Digidestined have to come back to the digital world using their ultimate level Digimon to defeat these Dark Masters who are also ultimate level Digimon.
Okay.
So
But not mega level.
No, only the 2. Well, they still can go Mega. The 2 that can go Mega
Yeah,
go Mega.
but these ones are...
The rest of them just do ultimate.
Okay.
And
Well,
the
then-
4 biomes, we all know what the 4 main biomes are altogether. It's ocean, forest, city, and wasteland.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Ruled respectively by Metal Seedramon, Puppetmon, Machinedramon, and Piedmon, who is the last one's a clown man, a dark clown, dark scary clown. Fun fact I was saying about the animation thing, Machinedramon was so complicated to draw and animate that I think they fight him in like 2 seconds and then it's like over because it was just too expensive. They're like, we can't do a big battle sequence. He's just too like elaborate. We made him too complicated.
Oh dear.
And honestly, they just kind of wipe out these 4 guys pretty quick anyway.
Because
this is
they
like
have
this is like the
mega
last half of the series.
In their ultimate level.
And so they kill all the Dark Masters, but the true foe is revealed once they have defeated Piedmon, the Clown King, because actually, now that they've defeated all 4 of them, they reveal that beneath the big spiral mountain was the lair of Apocalypse.
Oh my
who
god.
is an ancient evil Digimon that arose.
They were the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Is that what this is?
Now you're understanding.
The
Jesus.
4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Clown,
Apocalypse.
machine,
Water machine and puppet master.
Metal machine.
just like the Bible says.
Just like the Bible said. Now
Oh,
listen.
that's a Bible thing?
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
the clown of the apocalypse. Yeah.
So a lot of this lore doesn't come in until Digimon Tri, which is the 3rd series. But I'll put it here. Apocalypse came into being when the digital world was young. He came in through the Great Wall of Fire, and he infected the digital
a
world
firewall.
with his evil. Apocalypse is the
Is this
amalgamation. Apocalypse is the amalgamation of all the Digimon who tried to digivolve but were destroyed in the process, and so he's this big ball of like contempt and evil, corrupted data.
I was
Okay.
not
Oh,
aware
my.
that's a thing that happens.
So
he's the fragmented data that we try to get rid of when we defrag our hard
Apocalypse
drive.
created the 4. Apocalypse created the 4 Dark Masters, and then the original Digidestined. There were 5 Digidestined originally, and then they used their Digimon to defeat the original Dark Masters and push back Apocalypse. But in the process, one of the Digimon was destroyed and corrupted, and then the other 4 Digimon that remained turned into sort of the opposite of the Dark Masters that were the
Light
heroic
Masters?
Digimon, kinda the harmonious ones. Okay, so
Hell yeah.
the remaining 4 Digimon Digivol, or they became the harmonious ones that brought peace to the digital realm, and then they sort of ascended into like protectors of the digital realm. But then Apocalypse came back, but then it was prophesied that a new batch of Digidestined would come and defeat him, the 8 from this series.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Digidestined Apocalypse revealed now, and they've defeated his Dark Masters. But Apocalypse wants to destroy. He like hates. He wants to corrupt everything basically and destroy the digital realm and the human realm because he quote doesn't like that other people are happy and he can't be happy because he's only hate. So he is. I guess he like is Twitter, but before Twitter was invented.
Yeah,
But he will
that's
probably
awesome.
become Twitter.
Yeah.
So they all start to fall into like Apocalypse's domain because they basically destroyed all the other 4 realms that were created by the reformatting.
Okay.
And then Apocalypse is very powerful, but he like so he uses the recycled powers of the other villains that they have fought against them again. And
the powers that didn't work the
that
first
didn't
time.
work, but now they but you know. But then he also has another power that makes the Digimon digivolve.
Oh no!
So he sends them back to their rookie phase, and then
And then we play an animation. Digivolve.
no, they don't do that. Maybe they do actually.
In reverse.
I can't remember. I think they actually do. They do like a digi evolution thing, but in like reverse basically. But then they're like, whatever, we'll just digivolve again. We can do that. But then he destroys their crests.
Oh.
No.
And so now they lose the power to digivolve. And then he quote imprisons them in a binary prison by turning them into data. So they're in the digital realm. I think they are data. But then he turns them into data and puts them in the binary prison.
Did he turn him into binary code?
I
And then
mean,
they're trapped there.
that sounds like he just kills them. It's
does.
like if I said, Fran, if you asked where is CJ and I said I turned him into meat, like technically he already is meat. But when I say that,
Like ground beef. Yeah.
Right.
You can't come back from that usually.
The rest is pretty predictable. The Genai like contacts them and he was like, you guys are the Digidestined. This is all prophesized. I know you'll figure this out. And the bonds between them and their Digimon are so strong. And then they realized that the crests were not the tags that Genai gave him.
Oh.
Those were just the tags. The crests were inside of them all along.
Okay,
And so once they realize that their crests are inside of them, they can use their Digivices to digivolve their Digimon again into their ultimate and mega forms.
Yep.
And they're able to defeat Apocalypse, but Apocalypse in his defeat is like, no, I'm not going down like this. So he initiates his final move, which is called Total Annihilation, which is going to destroy both the digital world and the human world all at once. But the Digidestined are able to use the ambiguous...
Y2K.
Yeah, exactly. But the Digidestined are able to use the ambiguous power of their Digivices to contain Total Annihilation, so that it only destroys Apocalypse, and then they're able to reformat the digital world back into like the digital world that they sort of knew
the first one,
as they came in, and they win. They win the day.
Okay.
And they're able to go back into the real world, and the Digidestined have succeeded, and they kind of just go on being kids. And
roll credits to Digimon the movie?
We're in Digimon the movie now.
Oh.
Yeah, that was all the stuff you were expected to know coming into the movie.
And so the movie then has Izzy
my God.
Izzy comes to Ty's house, and he's like, Ty, there's this new Digi egg I found on the internet. And he's like, whoa. So in the original movie that this movie pulls from, the egg is made up of a bunch of computer viruses that conglomerated together to create a Digimon. So
like
this Digimon is a computer virus in the purest sense. Not virus type, he is a computer virus.
Okay.
However, in the movie, they had to connect all the movie's storylines together. So the egg was actually created by a character who won't come into the digital world for another full series.
Oh.
But they were like, he was just trying to make a Digi egg, and it got infected by a virus, and it became an evil Digimon.
Okay.
So if we're confused on the jump here, we need to know everything that happened in the Digimon series. Then we also need to know that in the second Digimon series, there's a guy who exists. And they decided that he tried to make a digital egg artificially, and it got infected by a virus, and it became a virus Digimon. And so in the movie, as we all know what happens in the movie, the virus starts to spread, so the Digidestined jump into action, except almost all of the Digidestined don't. It's kind of a weird running joke that the Digidestined are trying to like assemble to fight this thing, but it's like summer vacation, and like Mimi's Mimi's in Hawaii on vacation. Joe is in summer school. Matt and TK are in the countryside and only have like one computer that they're splitting between them. And Sora isn't talking to Ty because they're like, they've got like
break?
high school drama now. And they got in like a fight or something, and they keep trying to like reconcile with each other, but the virus Digimon is shutting down all of the computers and stuff, so they keep like emailing each other, but it's not going through.
Aww.
And like trying to call each other, but they can't because the phone lines are busy. So this virus is like eating up all of the data. And the reason you need to know all this other stuff is because then the Digimon fight him. They digivolve as they do. First, they try to do the whole thing that anime do, where they like throw their like kind of middling attacks at them. So they both evolve into champions, and then ultimates to try and fight the digital virus. But he's like a virus, and he's consuming data, so he's digivolving at a rate faster than they can keep up with. And then so even in their ultimate forms, they're not able to win. But then eventually TK and his brother Matt are able to get online on this one computer because they need Matt and Ty, who have the strongest Digimon, so that they can fight this virus. So then the two of them finally get in there, and they warp Digivolve into actual Mega Digimon. And then the Mega Digimon fight with the virus, but the virus is going crazy. It's already stronger than 2 Mega level Digimon.
Oh my gosh.
Which is insane.
That's
There
crazy.
isn't a level beyond
There can't
this
be.
level.
There can't
Unless...
So a lot of other stuff is happening in the background. I guess kids are emailing Izzy, which is slowing down their Digimon, because I guess Digimon have like limited
Bandwidth?
processing power.
Yeah.
So then like them receiving emails is making War Greymon and War Garurumon like moving slower, so they're not able to beat the virus, and the virus is like multiplying, and they are like, and they get disconnected from the internet for a while, and then they get reconnected, and they're like dead. Like War Greymon and War Garurumon are like dead. And then
Oh dear.
and then the voiceover that's been happening the whole movie that's explaining what's going on, because we have no fucking idea the context at this point. We don't know what's
Yeah.
happening in the actual movie. Is like, and then we don't really know what happened, but their bonds for each other were so great that Ty and Matt entered the digital realm, and they used their love to power them up. And then they do the most coolest thing that's ever fucking happened in any Digimon ever, where War Garurumon and War Greymon feel all of the positive energy, because all these kids are like emailing to be like, we believe in you, War Greymon, because everyone can see this. This is happening on every computer simultaneously ever. They're just like watching this anime fight sequence that's happening, because it's happening in Digimon digital space.
So
all these kids are like emailing, and they're like, we believe in you guys, and like some of them are flaming them. They're like, these mega levels can't even beat one Digimon. That's some bullshit. So like it's crazy, because like these kids know about Digimon lore. They're like, wow, I can't believe 2 mega level Digimon are losing to this one guy. And it's like, what is everyone on board with this? What's going on?
Dude, I love this. This is Twitch chat is affecting the
exactly.
outcome.
But then Ty and Matt are like, feel their strength, and they're like, I feel it, and then they use their powers. So in a later series, not yet in this series, but in a later series, there's a Digi-evolution called DNA Digivolving, and it's when 2 Digimon combine, fuse, and Digimon into one Digimon.
Okay, all right.
That doesn't exist yet. But in this movie,
It does.
War Greymon and War Garurumon digivolve together to become Omnimon, who has an arm cannon that has the mouth of War Garurumon,
yeah.
What?
and then he's got the head of War Greymon and his other arm, and a sword comes out of the mouth, and he uses a sword that's called Transcendent Sword.
Okay.
And it's awesome. And using the power of Omnimon, he's able to fight the Digimon, the virus Digimon. But then, like, he's stronger than that Digimon now, but the virus is still really fast, so he's, like, dodging them. And they're all on a timer, because the virus Digimon made all of the nukes from America shoot all around the world to start World War III.
Oh, dear.
And so if they don't stop this guy soon, they're all gonna blow up on like in like Japan and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're all coming towards Japan and like everywhere
Again.
else. So they're on like a timer, but Omnimon is stronger, but he can't get to, like, he can't kill the virus because he's like moving around too fast. So what does Izzy do? Because he's a smart little boy. He's like, I don't know what to do. He's moving too fast. Too fast. That's right. If I forward all of the emails to the virus Digimon, it will slow him down the same way it was slowing down War Greymon and War Garurumon. So he forwards
How does
his
he
inbox.
figure out the email address
Exactly.
of the virus?
I don't know. But
he
he
just-
forwards all the emails to the virus, and then he like freezes in place, and then they use the Transcendent Sword to slash through this creature's brain and kill it. And then they defeat the virus and stop all the nukes from exploding. They still land in like oceans and stuff, but they don't explode. I don't know if that's how nukes work, but
I don't know.
but they're
So-
able to defeat them. So you had to know about War Greymon and War Garurumon, and then you also have to know that there's such a thing as DNA Digivolving, which doesn't happen for another 2 series.
Oh my god.
Mercifully, the movie is halfway done because there's half of the movie left. I set out to make this episode to explain like what this movie is, and I can't do it in one episode because then we have to talk about all of Digimon Adventure 2, which is the next series where Kairi and TK are now they're the age that their siblings were in the previous one, and then they get more Digidestined, and then they have to learn about their Digimon, and they have to armor Digivolve, and they have to learn about what DNA Digivolving is, and then they have to tie all that back into the end of the fucking Digimon movie, which is supposed to be an hour and a half. So,
hell yeah.
Digimon, the movie, cannot be explained in the time that we have. I failed in my initial mission. I wanted to make that movie make sense, and we've only gotten through like 2/3 of it.
It's like 40 minutes.
And we still haven't explained the whole movie. I'm gonna say if we want to do a follow-up episode to try and finish the mission, I mean, you guys let us know, but we can't do any more digi bullshit. It's like, it's insane.
CJ is sweating right now. He's having a rough one.
He's having
Digimon
a moment.
They can digivolve, but then they get other digivolve, and then the digivices have different digivices, but the real Digimon were in our heart all along.
Yeah. And friendship is magic, and all that good stuff.
So, can I explain the Digimon the movie in one episode of the lore? I can't. I can't do that, but I can tell you that Omnimon is epic, and in a later movie, Omnimon has to fight another thing, but that thing's too strong for Omnimon. But Omnimon becomes a sword that another Digimon uses, and then that Digimon can kill with the reincarnation of this virus that they killed in this movie. They made another movie, and then this virus they killed in this movie reincarnates as a bunch of small viruses that recoalesce into a big virus, and they have to fight that, and Omnimon can't beat them, but then Omnimon's a sword this time, and then a bigger Digimon made out of the fusions of all of the other Digidestined Digimon from the other series used that sword to kill it.
Hell yeah. And when you say another movie, you mean the second movie that got fused into this movie.
No! They could have done that one for this movie, but they used a different movie!
Oh, no.
This is an unrelated movie!
Oh, beautiful.
Anyway, that's the end of this episode, guys. Thanks for watching The Lore You Know. We love we love to talk about Digimon and so we love doing it. We recorded this episode twice, and boy, howdy can you tell. It would be pretty fantastic if you would tell your friends about us. If you think this is entertaining, then find other people who think so too, because we need help and you need help, but together, a bunch of people who need help is a community. And that's what we're trying to make here. So please go ahead, subscribe, follow, rate us highly, do all of the cool engagement stuff that will help us reach the ultimate level or the mega level.
Let us know what your favorite Digivolution is. Is it the sexy lion guy? Is it?
Hell yeah. He's named Leomon, by the way.
Oh, is it Leomon? Is it?
Yeah, he's good.
Angelwoman?
Anjamon and Anjawomon, who becomes Seraphmon and Seraphinamon.
Of course.
Seraphs are a type of angel. But
amazing.
Please go ahead and drop us a line. Hey, we're on Twitter at SpicesWith. Tweet us some info you would like to know about the Digimon series, or if there's a different, better series you want us to do, or if you really want another Digimon. I guess we're amenable to that, but boy howdy, it will. I am like, I wish I could show you the scene, because the War Greymon doesn't have like a face. He's got like a helmet basically, and the eyes are like glowing eyes behind the helmet.
Yep.
And then he's like, they're like, his eyes are like not lit, and because he's like dead. But then he's like, listen to all of the children around the world. And he's like, I feel them. And then his eyes open back up. And then that's when he fights again. So I'm like that. I'm dead. And without the combined effort of internet people to reinvigorate me,
Had everyone forwarding their emails.
I'll just die. So we do have an email, cookingwithspices69@gmail.com. If you want to send us an email about a topic you think that would be good, hey, sounds great. Twitch.tv/cookingwithspices. We are streaming there. Fun games. Maybe we'll play a Digimon game. I used to love Digimon World 2, even though everyone knows it's the worst one, and it is bad. And I don't know. Maybe I'll play that again. Who can say?
Oh my God.
We're on YouTube, Cooking with Spices. Links everywhere. And that's it, man. Like, that's all the stuff we do. Thanks to Galestorm Kitsune for doing the channel artwork, and thanks to Apajo for the intro and outro of the songs. It's just as good, if not better, as the Digimon theme song, which also slaps. Fuck.
All right, let's take us home, CJ.
Where am I? Anyway, until next time, Digidestined, I've been CJ.
And I've been Ethan.
And I've been Fran.
I can't believe we did that twice. I really can't. It was like, I knew once we got to the end it was going to be wild, but it was wild. That's the impression I got.